Number 15, In the Rain by the Dramatics.
In the rain, it may sound crazy.
This one's for the heartbreakers and the heartbroken, with thunder rolling behind velvety harmonies. In the Rain wasn't just a ballad, it was a scene. The Dramatics made crying in public feel like performance art, using string choruses and weather sound effects to draw you into the moment. It hit number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, but the group never quite made it back to those heights. If you ever felt your chest tighten on a rainy afternoon, this is your anthem. Up next, a biker ballad with more twang than attitude. But somehow, it worked. Number 14, Motorcycle Mama by Sailcat.
Be the queen of my highway, a motorcycle mama, and we'll see the world.
A southern rock oddity with cartoon cover art and a gentle rebel soul. Motorcycle Mama cruised up the charts before veering off into obscurity. This wasn't your typical outlaw anthem. Instead, it was a laid-back lullaby about love on the open road. It felt like Easy Rider meets Sunday Picnic, and maybe that's why it hit a nerve in '72. One hit and gone. Sailcat left behind a song that feels like a lazy ride into the heart of the counterculture. And speaking of heat, the next song was almost too hot for radio. Number 13, Jungle Fever by the Chakachas. You've probably heard the moans, even if you don't know the name. Jungle Fever was scandalous, funky, and completely unforgettable. A Belgian group made a U.S. hit with a wordless, almost primal groove that got banned from several stations, which only made it more appealing. It peaked at number 8, but was never meant to stick around. The Chakachas left the charts the way they came, loud, sweaty, and impossible to explain, and inspired a generation of misfits and dreamers. But next, we bring it back to the soft glow of a love song, written like a poem. And I'll write you a poem if you hit the subscribe button right now. Number 12, Hocus Pocus by Pocus. Yodeling, rock riffs, flute solos, what else do you need? Hocus Pocus is a wild instrumental ride from the Dutch band Pocus, blending prog rock wizardry with theatrical flair. It was noisy, unpredictable, and somehow climbed into the top 10. A song like this should not have worked, and yet it still blows minds today with its sheer audacity. One hit, infinite replay value. Next, a pop protest wrapped in rainbow colors and harmony. Number 11, Black and White by Three Dog Night.
Child is black, the child is white, the whole world moves.
This one still splits the room. Black and White was pure idealism, a rainbow-colored anthem about racial harmony, delivered in major chords and schoolyard sweet lyrics.
The world is black, the world is white, it turns by day.
Three Dog Night didn't write it, but they gave it wings in 1972, soaring to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It felt like a campfire sing-along with a message. But despite the group's string of hits, this was their last moment at the very top. A feel-good farewell to chart dominance. Coming up, a novelty record so strange it turned political satire into a top 10 hit. Number 10, Convention 72 by the Delegates.
Mr. MacNeal, if you were in Senator McGovern's place, who would you have chosen as a running mate? Bertha. Bertha who?
You've probably never heard another hit like this. Convention 72 stitched together voice impressions of major political figures, Nixon, McGovern, even LBJ, edited over a funky beat like a radio skit gone rogue. It was absurd, it was clever, and it worked. A top 10 hit made from tape slices and voiceovers? That's pure 70s gold. The Delegates never struck again, but their one oddball hit lives on in the crates and comedy archives. Next up, a song you've definitely heard at least once and probably bobbed your head to without even knowing. Number 9, Popcorn by Hot Butter. Before tick-tock loops or ringtone remixes, there was Popcorn. This bubbly synth instrumental by Hot Butter was catchy, quirky, and way ahead of its time. It sounded like the future, or at least what 1972 thought the future might sound like. A pure Moog synth jam that cracked the top 10. It turned living rooms into dance floors and inspired a generation of electronic producers. Hot Butter disappeared just as quickly, but Popcorn kept popping up in ads, arcades, and cartoons for decades. And now we move from space age snack sounds to a peace anthem that started as a soda jingle. Number 8, I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing by the New Seekers.
I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Harmony.
You know the melody. It sold Coca-Cola to the world. But in 1972, the New Seekers turned that sugary sentiment into a full-on pop hit. I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing was soft, sweet, and idealistic. The kind of song that makes you feel like everything might just be okay. It hit number 7 on the Hot 100 and became an emblem of commercialized optimism. A moment where marketing, music, and message all sang in perfect harmony. Next up, the soft rock gem you didn't know you remembered until that chorus hits. Number 7, Nice to Be With You by Gallery.
And it's so nice to hear you say you're gonna please me in every way.
Warm, breezy, and comforting as a front porch swing in the summer. Nice to Be With You was Gallery's love letter to simple romance. It hit number 4 in 72 and lived its life in the background of young love, prom nights, and dusty jukeboxes. Larry Santos' lead vocals were plain-spoken but magnetic, like a smile you could hear. Gallery never cracked to the top 40 again, but this tune still echoes like a snapshot of a sweeter time. And coming next, a sailor's ballad that somehow became a jukebox staple from coast to coast. Number 6, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass.
Sailor said, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be.
Few songs set a scene like Brandy. From the opening piano to that unforgettable chorus, Looking Glass gave us a tale of love and longing wrapped in sailor folklore. It hit number 1 in the summer of 72, instantly becoming one of the most beloved soft rock hits of the decade. But despite the success, the band could never follow it up. Brandy became their legacy and a bittersweet anthem to the one that got away. Next, a European duo drops a transatlantic bomb that had everybody asking, how do you do? Number 5, How Do You Do by Mouth and MacNeal.
All we know is long ago you said I love you too.
Catchy doesn't even begin to describe this one. How Do You Do was a Euro-pop invasion disguised as a question, and it blew up in the U.S., climbing to number 8 on the Billboard charts. Mouth and MacNeal brought their quirky charm, bouncy vocals, and undeniable chemistry to a track that felt like sunshine bottled in a chorus. It was everywhere, and then suddenly, nowhere. The duo never charted again in the States, but their one hit still makes crowds smile and sway. And speaking of sweet, the next song dripped with slow dance romance you could feel in your chest. Number 4, Precious and Few by Climax.
Precious and few are the moments we two can share.
A gentle whisper of devotion, Precious and Few became the wedding song for 1,000 high school sweethearts. It hit number 3, but felt bigger thanks to its lush strings, tender vocals, and pure sincerity. Climax captured that rare moment when love feels so big, words can barely contain it. This wasn't just a ballad, it was a time capsule of young love in bell-bottoms and prom corsages. Next, a reggae soul fusion that broke through every boundary and still shines like sunlight after a storm. Number 3, I Can See Clearly Now by Johnny Nash.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
There's something almost spiritual about this one. I can see clearly now blended soul, pop, and reggae into a song of pure emotional release. When Johnny Nash's voice breaks into the chorus, it's like sunlight after heartbreak, warm, healing, undeniable. It soared to number 1 in 1972 and became a timeless anthem of personal victory. But despite its massive success, Nash never reached the top again. Still, this song remains one of the most uplifting moments in pop history. Next up, a forbidden love story told in velvet tones and wrapped in one unforgettable hook. Number 2, Me and Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
This one hit different. Billy Paul's Me and Mrs. Jones was smooth, sultry, and unapologetically grown with its jazzy production and soul-drenched vocals. It told a story of love, lust, and infidelity that felt more like a whispered confession than a pop song. It reached number 1 and earned Billy Paul a Grammy, but he never charted that high again. Still, this track carved its name into the Soul Music Hall of Fame with just one line: "We got a thing going on." But what comes next? A childhood chant turned chart-topping oddity and the strangest one-hit wonder of them all. Number 1, Playground in My Mind by Clint Holmes.
I'm in a playground in my mind where the children.
And here it is, the most unforgettable, forgotten hit of 1972. Playground in My Mind sounds like a lullaby from a dream, or maybe a dream from a lullaby. Clint Holmes tapped into something haunting and oddly innocent with this track, featuring a child's voice singing about candy canes, carousel rides, and a fantasy world where time doesn't exist. It hit number 2, then faded like the memory it described. For a moment, the world stopped and listened to a grown man and a child duet about imaginary friends, and somehow it worked. Clint Holmes never had another hit, but this one, it never really left. If that track just unlocked a childhood memory you forgot you had, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button, because there are so many more lost songs waiting to be remembered. So, there you have it, 15 forgotten one-hit wonders from 1972 you need to hear. From biker ballads to synth pop oddities, each one briefly burned bright and vanished, but not before leaving a mark on music history. Which one hit you the hardest? Drop a comment. Was it the sunshine soul of Johnny Nash or the whispery weirdness of Clint Holmes? And if you thought this countdown was a trip till we dig into the smoothest R&B songs from 1973 that no one talks about anymore, click the video on your screen now, because the only thing better than rediscovering forgotten songs is realizing they were never really gone. Every song tells a story, but some songs tell our story. And that's the kind of music you never outgrow.